Could we see him fight in the UFC, or have you guys parted ways?
Yeah, I don't think so.
There wouldn't be a week I go out and I wouldn't end up having a fight. When you're younger, it's starting taking bits of weed and bits of drugs and all this other kind of stuff. Stuff that's not good for a young kid, that's going to kind of poison your mind.
Not this session from today, Gerard.
No!
It wasn't even because I got denied a visa that people were led to assume and stuff like that. It was just because they couldn't attain the visa in time for the finale. So he was just like, he'll never fight for the UFC again, mate. You know what I mean? He's done. That's why I'm so passionate about helping young people and telling them, like, it affects you. What the shit you do today is definitely going to affect your future.
Go again. We're on our way down to Grapple Gangs Croydon. I'm loving the program they've got at the minute. It's a program designed to get kids out of gang life, out of the street life and some of the trouble situations they're in, and kind of putting that energy in a more constructive way into mixed martial arts. So we're going to go down, meet a few of the guys, teach some classes and hopefully have a positive impact on the people we meet today.
We're now approaching London Euston.
You know what? Unexpected phone call then from a guy, similar situation. He was bringing some kind of trouble kids that I used to help and guide and teach and stuff, and I encouraged him to jump on the mats for a little session, and he was just ringing me up. Then from that, he's ended up taking up the training himself and becoming a blue belt of his own, opening up in his own school for kind of troubled youths, and he's instilling them same techniques into them now. So it's a massive cycle of changing people's lives. I'm absolutely over the moon to hear that. I can't believe he's a blue belt, man. I'm buzzing for him. But I think that's one of the biggest issues with fighters. I think honesty. Like, if you ask any fighter on the street, what do you want to be? They'll go UFC champ, UFC champ, UFC champ. But I was kind of telling myself that all the time, world champ, world champ, world champ. But one of my mates asked me the question kind of, and is like, right, if you're completely honest with the reasons why you're doing it, then you're gonna be more sustainable, and you're gonna be on the right path as opposed to kind of living a life. And I thought, what is the reason I'm doing this? I mean, being world champ would be the best thing ever, everyone calling you champ and all the prestige that comes with it, but really I'm doing this to support a family. Yeah. I'm doing it to support my family and make a better life for my family. So to me, the money from this life comes before the belt, you know, being able to provide my family and doing something I love. So I think being honest with yourself is massive in this game. And I'm being honest with myself at the minute, and I want to make the door from the fighting.
My name's Saul Rogers, professional mixed martial artist, currently fighting for Bellator MMA. I'm also head coach over at Grapple Clinic, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt. And I'm probably most known for being the uncrowned season 22 Ultimate Fighter winner, I think, as well, Team McGregor. I first started in MMA. I didn't even know what MMA was. I was living a bit unruly when I was younger, and it was somebody's mum at the time. They basically said it in a nice way. They was like, oh, mixed martial arts gyms opened over here in the area. Why don't you go and put your energy into something a bit more constructive instead of being a destructive piece of shit, kind of, for want of better words, really. So I went over to the MMA gym, what was over in Farnworth, and it weren't MMA what we was doing. I thought it was MMA. We was kind of stick fighting is what we was doing. So someone come at you with a stick, you kind of duck under it and grab it. I'm telling everyone that I'm doing MMA, and that was like the start of the journey. I was around 18, 19 when I started MMA. I must have been plumbing about 2 years. And when I got deep into the MMA, I'd be on my lunch hours, and there was a few guys who'd work on site as well, and they showed me a few tricks. I'd want to literally learn off everybody. I'd spend all my time traveling on the weekends and all through the week. And I remember I used to observe the guys I was working with, and they hated the life, they hated the job. And I just thought, do I want to be doing this for the rest of my life? I thought, nah, do I fuck? And then I went over to MMA full time then and left the plumbing behind.
We've arrived here in Croydon, over at Grapple Gangs now, ready to meet the team. Let's get to work. Not a bad little spot though, is it?
I'll make you guys a cup of tea now. I had to go to some random Polish supermarket, and I think this is milk because everything else was like kefir.
Yeah. I was gonna say it looks like kefir that, but then you
I did say to the woman, I don't want kefir in my tea. Yeah, are you a Bolton fan?
No, I'm not big in the football, you know. But if I have to pick, I'm a United fan.
Yeah.
Just because I got brought up in a United household, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my wife's a City fan.
Is she?
So when I go around to her families, I'm like I'm die hard United. United!
Cool. Yeah, so Gloves Not Guns was originally set up by Adam Ballard. Adam's basically run Croydon ABC Boxing Club for a long time, and sadly, like a young person, lost their life outside his gym. So he had this idea to create a boxing program that was specifically for young people that were at risk of serious youth violence. And then quite soon after he did that, me and him met. And my background was working with young people through sort of youth work and within social care, education, those types of settings. So in regards to the Grapple Gang program, we started that about 4 years ago. Initially it was a gi program, which was delivered on a Friday night. Young people could come down, engage in an activity they've never done before. And yeah, over the years and the sort of popularity of it, young people sort of said they would like to do no gi as well. About a year and a half ago, we brought on Coach Chris, and he's developed our no gi program.
Yeah, he was already telling me that the leg lock where he does this entry and all this other stuff. It's took Ian Gary down.
Yeah.
No, he's not a wrestler though, so I don't count. I don't count.
He's submitted a UFC fight.
There you go.
But Ian Gary's like a blue belt, isn't he? So, hey, that's not camera.
Don't brush it off.
He's just done it. So everyone knows me as Chris Yam Power or Coach Chris. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a couple years now. Before lockdown, taking it seriously. Being coached by some of the greats in this country, I would say. So from Owen O'Flanagan to Matt Inman to now Ashley Grimshaw. So quite a few heads. But yeah, and then I also do quite a lot of community work as well. So I've loved coaching, done a lot of mentoring and that work in the background. And within the Croydon community sector, I was connected with Ben and Adam. And then when they put out an advert, said that they were looking for a jiu-jitsu coach, I was just like, brilliant. They work with doing a lot of intervention work, doing a lot of community work, right up my street, linked it up with jiu-jitsu as well. Beautiful.
Felt the handshake, I thought. Yeah, you're a strong man.
Dan, how old are you?
Just turned 24.
24, yeah. Saying Saul's going to get you into MMA.
Yeah. We've arrived here at Grapple Gangs, met the team, absolutely incredible bunch of guys. We're going to get changed now, get the shorts, get the rashes on, and get to work. I go, let's get one on the spot, boys. Just do a few, we'll go just a few jumping jacks. Let's go, real basic, boys, real basic.
I didn't even know how big the Ultimate Fighter was. I didn't watch much UFC either. I love training it. Still to this day, I watch the most MMA I watch is because my wife wants to watch it all the time. She puts it on. When the fight's on, she puts it on. And I didn't even know I was going to fight to get in the house. Yeah. I went on holiday about 3 or 4 weeks before. We get there, Dana White comes out, he tells everybody, yo, you're all fighting to get in the house. My head, it fell off. Hand on heart, on my kid's life, I was hardly training. But you're looking around now, I'm thinking, I don't want to fight that big bastard. I don't want to fight this guy. I feel like I could do him. You had Dana White there, Conor McGregor, Faber, and the nerves and anxiety was something else. You're thinking, you don't want to lose on telly and all this other kind of stuff. So when I went in the fight, I was already done. My body was already shot from the adrenaline.
You're chopping me up, right? He's completed it, it's done, you don't need any practice. Like I tell my guys, yeah, boys, everyone says to me, I see my guys some weeks, I'm not seeing them again for a month and I'm like, oh coach, motivation. You think I wake up every morning, yeah, oh yes, get to go and train. I don't. I drag myself there just like everybody else drags themselves there. And that doesn't mean some days I don't love it, or some days I don't love what I'm doing, same like you guys. But if you're thinking every day you're going to wake up, you're motivated to train, you're wrong, because sometimes life beats you down, you know what I'm saying? You've still got to get up and drag yourself there, even if you've had a shit day, even if everything else is going wrong. So don't always be relying on this, motivation. I'm not motivated, none of us are. Discipline overrides motivation. When the motivation's gone, the discipline's what takes over. So make sure you boys are living disciplined, you know what I'm saying? You say you're going to train, you go to the gym, you hold yourself accountable to what you say you're going to do. Honestly, that will change your life, boys.
First fight I fought Paul O'Bo, and I think I submitted him early in the second round. Second fight I fought a guy called Billy Quarantello. He's in the UFC now still. And bro, that was the only guy in the house that, not to tell a lie actually, I wanted to fight Ryan Hall also, but Billy, I wanted to beat him. I didn't want to beat anyone else the way I wanted to beat him, and I didn't even ask for the fight, and it just got given to me. And I just beat him down for 2 rounds, 2 10-8 rounds as well actually. And then my third fight was Ryan Hall. Again, everyone was terrified of him, and I went and asked for the fight because I was training with a lot of good leg lockers at the time, so I knew if I could kind of evade his leg locks, I could beat him and not take as much damage going into the final. I beat him in the decision. I put him down actually with a left hook as well in the fight. He kept rolling in for the leg locks and I kept bringing him out. And the final fight was a guy called Marcin Drozek. He was beating a lot of guys. He was ranked #1 in Poland at the time. He was beating a lot of guys in the house. And it was very similar style to me. I was just a little bit better, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. And when I was matching with the final, I knew I was going to beat him. And yeah, I think I strangled him as well, second round as well. But when you fuck around in the past, it catches up with you in the future. I should have won the show, I didn't. So some of them guys I'm kind of buzzing off here that I've beat, they've got sustaining careers in the UFC, so whoever lasts longest, you know what I'm saying?
Could we see him fight in the UFC or have you guys parted ways?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Ready for that second session of the day now with the guys. Bit of a busier class, so I'm looking forward to kind of like a class structure and giving them someone I want to get through to you guys, because when you're younger, it's easy to get swayed different ways or pulled different ways in life. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I was a bit younger, when I was your age, the guys I was running with was kind of running wild, and it gets to a point like you get to a crossroads in your life. And luckily for me, the training changed my life. It literally, it sounds cliche, but it saved my life. It changed my life because I was getting in trouble non-stop. You think the things you do when you're younger don't catch up with you when you're older, or you think it's going to have no bearing. So when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, up until we're 20-year-old and getting in trouble or whatever, I never thought in my head that I was going to be in the UFC. I never thought in my head that I was going to be in Bellator or fight all over the world.
I beat everybody on the show, and I don't know if you know, but every time when you go to America, you fill out an ESTA. So anyone who's travelled to the States before, they'll fill out an ESTA. And on that ESTA it'll say, have you ever been arrested for this and all this other kind of stuff. And me, naively, I've been arrested multiple times when I was younger. Like I said before, I found training and mixed martial arts, and since I've fought, I've never been arrested. But again, it was fights and things like that, and because I've never been to jail or it was nothing too serious, I put no to the criminal charges. It was a lot of fights, and I had a small possession charge as well, which was the issue. And this is why I'm trying to educate these youngsters. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking little things are not going to catch up with you, but they do, and these are what hinder you. And this is what hindered me with getting my visa. It wasn't even because I got denied a visa that people were led to assume and stuff like that. It was just because they couldn't attain the visa in time for the finale. And I think Dana was a bit hurt and upset because I kind of messed the ending up. So he was just like, he'll never fight for the UFC again now. Do you know what I mean? He's done.
I'm going to need to get my chiropractor into straight
Well, it's great. The community is very welcoming. I mean, I never feel like nervous really. When I come, I feel relaxed. I know almost everybody here, so we all have our own relationships. Well, I think it helps young people have something to do in the evenings instead of being out on the street doing whatever they wanna do, which is not good sometimes.
It's just helpful because it just gives, like I said before, it just gives something to do, even if you don't want to box, even if like you want to use it for the fitness to lose weight, or even as self-defense, because during these times it's a wild world right now, and these sessions, they're free, so it's not like you're paying like subscriptions like 30-40 pounds a month. They're literally free, like it's not coming out of your pocket. So even if you're bored or you want to try something new, if you want to come, the only thing is really going to cost you is just your time. It'll just help to get you some someone just got armed by there. Sorry about that.
Oh, another one from this session. Told you I do the same stuff over and over. My favourite positions every time: front headlock, side control, no mercy, submitting everybody. Oh, you're giving it me from today.
No.
Not this session from today, Jerome.
No.
Not this session from today, Jerome.
No. Damn it. Stop recording me.
Boys, if they're not putting their energy into something constructive, they're going to put their energy into something destructive. And the guys I was getting around with at the time, I had two very close mates, and they was good guys, the same with me, but they didn't really have a dad who could keep them in line. I had a dad that could keep me in line. And what happened is when my mum and dad kind of got divorced and my dad moved away and doing his own thing, my mum tried, but I had no one really to keep me in line. I had no one to answer to. So again, I'm on the streets then pretty much. I get home from school, and from school till late, I'm out on the streets with my friends. When you're younger, it's starting taking bits of weed and bits of drugs and all this other kind of stuff, and drinking and stuff that's not good for a young kid, that's going to kind of poison your mind. But it's that normal to you because everybody else is doing it. It's just part of your life from 14, 15, 16. And them two guys I kind of got, I grew up with as well. One of them now is in jail and is still bad on crack. I hate saying it hurts my heart. And the other one died of a heroin overdose as well. And I remember I got to a point, I was about maybe 16, 17, and I was at a bit of a crossroads in my life there, and that's when I broke away from them, and I kind of got around with a different set of guys, and they went on to do their own stuff wild. Like I say, when I was wild, there wouldn't be a week I'd go out and I wouldn't end up having a fight. These guys was even wilder than me, you know what I'm saying, biting people's ears off and all this other crazy stuff, and this is where life takes you. So I kind of broke away from them guys. I found martial arts, and since I found martial arts, honestly, I've never been in trouble with the police. I've never had no issues, and this is why I'm so passionate about helping young people and telling them, like, it affects you. The shit you do today is definitely going to affect your future.
Oh, hey, beautiful single leg finish it. Don't give it, man.
In this kind of latter part of my career now, I'm earning like the better money now. So I'm looking at kind of building. So I'm looking at building and reinvesting. So the money I'm getting from the fights, future Saul Rogers sees like a mega facility, honestly, a state-of-the-art facility, jiu-jitsu gym, as well as mixed martial arts side, as well as a state-of-the-art weight side and saunas and cool tubs and all that. That's the vision in my brain. So yeah, I'm going to kind of win as many fights as I can, and then build my mega facility. We're going to come back to this in 5 years and see where I'm at with the development.